It ain't too much for me to say, shit, I got a pro. So stay the fuck up out my way, you see they got you dope. And a few can torn away, I'm in a bad mood. Please don't fuck with me today, what else I gotta do? It ain't too much for me to say, shit, I got a pro. So stay the fuck up out my way, you see they got you dope. And a few can torn away, I'm in a bad mood. I bring, please don't fuck with me today. They say Prissy ain't on top of his shit, I beg to differ. Nah, fuck that.
Ahoy hoy. So, feeling a little bit better than I did yesterday or last night, whatever you want to say. Deciding again to kind of make a continuation of what I was talking about. Because I don't know why. The minute I start recording, all of a sudden I want to sneeze, but I'm hoping I can hold it in. Anyway, so I didn't want to wait too long to finish talking about what I was talking about yesterday. So if it's possible, I'll try not to make a long video, but I can't make any promises. So anyway, like I said, in a much better mood. A few things still bothering me, but I can see the clouds clearing up, sun coming out. So at present, the only thing I'm worried about is trying to do some more writing. I was watching Hajime no Ippo again, and as usual when I watch this series, sometimes when I watch the fights, even though it's even though it's a cartoon, it's anime, you still don't know how it's really gonna go, and it actually keeps you on the edge of your seat. Like, I honestly felt like I was one of the spectators, in that arena watching, the fight go down between Ippo and I can't think of his name right now, but dude kept talking about meat and shit. So, but when Ippo won, it kind of made me teary-eyed a little bit. And like, in the past, I didn't used to get, emotional over anything I saw on the show, especially when it comes to anime. But some things have, succeeded in, what can I say? Some things have succeeded in making me, get a bit, misty-eyed and emotional, and I get to thinking about things. And there was this one fighter on there who was talking to the dude that got beat, and he was talking about how Ippo, makes you feel after you fight him. That even though he might beat you, Ippo makes you want to, work harder, and he makes you really believe in boxing, And it got me to thinking about one of the things I'm missing as far as, hip-hop goes. Like, I'm a competitive person when it comes to a lot of things. A lot of the people around me are not competitive like that. So, my competitive spirit can kind of grate some people's nerves, especially when they're not used to anything like that. Because I know one of my friends used to tell me all the time, he was like, yo, man, it's not a competition. We friends, we rap together. And I'm like, yeah, I know that. But for me, when I hear somebody and to me they sound better than me, it makes me want to work harder. And I do get competitive, and I get to the point where I'm like, you know what, I'm going to outdo you with this next song I write, or it's this next rap I write, or if me and a person are collaborating on a song, I try to write a verse that's hard as hell so that way I can stand out on the track. And for the most part, I have done that on a lot of songs. Very few times I've been outshined. And when that does happen, of course, that still makes me want to work harder. Like, years ago, when I was on this cypher, and all of those rappers on there were way better than me. I mean, some of my friends said they didn't think that they were that good. But to me, what I heard, it made me realize that I needed to, there was something I was missing. Everybody know me for going hard, knowing me for being creative and being nerdy with my raps, kind of on some gutter lupe shit. But, hold on, I think, I hope that wasn't showing. But anyway, hearing those guys made me realize how much harder I had to work. And so I kind of stepped away from them and a lot of people because I was really focused on trying to be better. You know, and I've been focused on that for years. You know, I hear somebody, and sometimes I might hear somebody and it might instill a little bit of fear in me. But a little bit of fear is good, you know, because it reminds you that you're still human, that you're still vulnerable, and that, you know, that you have limits. You know, you hear something and it hits you that type of way. It hits you in the head, it hits you in the heart, it hits you in the soul. You know, some shit be hitting me right in the gut. You know, and I'm just like, fuck, you know. I remember the first time I heard Joyner Lucas, you know, and I'm still ain't nowhere near his level, of course. But the first time I heard him, I was intimidated as fuck. I didn't even want to listen to him. You know, and then I eventually started, you know, listening to him and studying him like I do any other, you know, artist I listen to. I study everybody. You know, and I pick up on things. And listening to him, of course, listening to Eminem like I always have, even listening to Nas, you know, everybody, just anybody, you know, listening to certain people has always put me back in the classroom, I guess you could say. You know, I'm the only person in there, but put me back in the classroom. And it's put me back in the point where I'm like, yeah, I got to study for this test, you know, or else I'm going to fail, you know. Most people might like having, you know, some type of cheat sheet, but me, I got to be thorough. I got to make sure I have all my notes, and once I have all those written and laid out, studying. And when the time comes, I'll ace the test, and I won't need to cheat. That's just one of my little metaphors or whatever. You know, so that's the way I am when it comes to rapping. You know, I'm the same way when it comes to writing my stories. You know, I'm still of the belief that I am not good enough yet. And I mean, I see nothing wrong with it. Some people might be like, how much better you want to get? I mean, extremely, you know, better. You know, great. I want to be to the point where even if somebody doesn't like the topic of my story, you know, or the genre I'm writing in, that they can still say, this is really well written. I don't want it to be where people can still constantly point out mistakes. I mean, we're always going to make mistakes. Sometimes they're often hard to avoid. But, you know, if I can avoid mistakes, then I will. You know, now there are some people who read my stuff, and to them, there isn't anything wrong with it. But of course, they're not on the level of everybody else, and that's not an insult. You know, everybody just has different standards, different criteria that they go by, and a different understanding of literature. You know, starting out, especially when I got back into writing, I still had a basic understanding of literature, and even now, I'm more at an intermediate level. You know, I'm still studying, I'm still learning, I'm still reading different things. I'm getting into every genre that I can get into, but of course, the main genres I really want to write in are horror and science fiction. And I'm still planning on doing a romance novel, but I can't guarantee anything. But I've had this idea since high school, but, you know, my shit always end up being something with a kind of depressing twist to it, you know, and it goes from being romance to being a drama or something like that, you know, a really depressing slice of life. But anyway, you know, I'm just thorough with everything I do. Even now, with still working on getting better at my art, I'm being thorough with that. You know, now that's something right there, the art, that I really have a lot of glaring, you know, mistakes and areas where I can be stronger at. You know, and sometimes I still get intimidated. Actually, I think when it comes to art, I get the most intimidated, you know, with that. I gotta turn this fan around because I have this other phone on and I have the light on it, you know, so that it won't be so dark while I'm recording, but this light is hot and I'm sweating and, you know, I don't know, you probably can't see it, but you probably can tell my head a little, you know, shiny. Anyway, that's beside the point. So, yeah, you know, when it comes to art, that's one of the things I get the most intimidated with. And sometimes I get so intimidated that I get, depressed. Because I've always been this type of person ever since I was a kid. And I guess I could say it's because of how I was raised. That, never settle. And a lot of people say that, never settle. And I try hard not to. If I know that I can improve somewhere, I'm going to try my hardest to do so. Some people might be like, you're focusing, too hard on it. You're worrying too much. You're overthinking it. And truthfully, I do overthink. But at the same time, that overthinking that I do, no matter if it's art, stories, music, the overthinking that I do usually saves me. Because overthinking allows me to be extra prepared or extra cautious, and cover all my bases. Now, sometimes I still slip. A lot of things I don't do. But for the most part, my overthinking, it helps me out. It can slow me down sometimes. It's a help and a hindrance. It's both. It's a double-edged sword. But my bad. Trying hard not to sneeze, and it's got my voice cracking because I'm trying to hold a sneeze in. I don't want to sneeze while I'm on camera. Anyway, see where am I at? Almost 11 minutes. Once again, I told y'all I can't make no promises. This will probably end up being this might go to 20 something, but anyway, but not for real. So, like I said, like my homie Keith, he's real very encouraging when it comes, to my art. And not just him, my little homie Louie, and Ed. We kind of share part of the same name, different spelling though. But anyway, all of them, they are very encouraging when it comes to my art, my drawings. But of course, when I look at Louie and I look at Keith, and even when I look at other people, I still get intimidated. I'd be like, man, I can't wait till I get to that level. Because Keith has really done a lot of stuff that has impressed me. I've showed it to some people. Some people might be like, it's all right. You know how some people be. They can't find anything nice to say. And I just be like, fuck you, I'm not sharing shit with you again. Now, of course, everybody has their, preferences, I know. But sometimes some people are just haters. You just have to call it like it is. It's not even no preference type of thing. It's just some people just never have anything nice to say, at all. And I mean, we're entitled to our, to our opinions, how we feel about things. But sometimes it's just best to just shut the fuck up. That's how it is. It's just best to do that. Now, me, of course, I like to say a lot, but over the years, I've gone over this a bunch of times in my videos, so you're probably going to hear me say this about 1,500 more times. But over the years, I've learned that I don't have to say everything, And I also, realized how much, in the past, me saying that I don't like this and don't like that has made it to where people feel like they have to preface, their messages with, I know you don't like so-and-so, or I know this ain't your type of thing, when they're going to share something with me. And, of course, in the past, I would just get pissed off if people shared something with me that I didn't like, because I'd be like, I don't like it. But I realized how, inconsiderate that was to do that to my friends, and especially my girlfriend at the time. It made it where she couldn't share a lot of different things with me. And so even now with us just being friends, she still sometimes says that, and I had to let her know. Well, not really yesterday. It was actually Saturday. I had to say it, but I told her, you don't have to say that. I know I've said a lot of things in the past, and I regret, talking about everything I didn't like. But I guess just because I was so angry about other stuff, that minor things that should have been irrelevant, would piss me off to the point that I would just, go off. I mean, there were a lot of old posts on my old Facebook account, where I was just going off about everything. I love to rant, and I'm trying to be more constructive now, because even these videos are sort of rants, but not exactly angry. Now, yesterday, I was angry, but I still tried to maintain some type of positivity in the video. I didn't want it to be overwhelmingly negative, you know. And, you know, I try not to do that. Some people want to hear that. And one day I might make a video that is just completely angry. You know, just full of, you know, rage. But for the most part, if I can keep from it, I'm going to try to do things in a collected, you know, cool, calm, and collected manner. But anyway, you know, I realized that me saying all this stuff in the past made it where people couldn't share things with me. They couldn't tell me about things they like because they know that I have said this or that before. So, you know, I just had to let my ex know, you know, hey, you know, you don't have to say that. If you want to share something with me, just share it with me, you know. You know, even if it's somebody I don't like, you know, I'm gonna, honestly, nowadays, stuff don't bother me that much, you know, unless somebody is really trying to annoy me with it, then that's a different story. But for the most part, it doesn't bother me that way. And like I said, I found that it's better to just not say anything. That's the reason why, you know, I often go up under people like Eric July videos and Clownfish TV and shit like that. You know, people like that because they're always complaining about something. And I'm like, if you don't like it, why do you keep paying so much attention to it? Like me, when I don't like something, I try my best to ignore it. The only time I really used to go off about shit is because I would probably see it. Somebody would either share something with me, you know, and sometimes it would be people who didn't know that I didn't like whatever it was or whoever it was. So I couldn't completely blame them, but then that would end up making me kind of flip, you know. But whereas, you know, I just try my best to ignore things. And if I do happen to see something, I just sweep it under the rug. You know, I don't let it get me. Like, there are much more important things for me to be upset about than to be upset about the changes that they're making with certain comic book characters, or you know, how the shows on the CW might be doing a certain storyline, or, you know, the shit that, you know, Marvel is planning to do with this next phase of the MCU. Like, just to be completely honest, I'm not interested in what they're about to do with the X-Men, but I'm not going to complain about it 24/7. But I expect that when they really do roll that shit out, whatever they do with the X-Men and Fantastic Four and Silver Surfer or whatever, my bad. But whatever they do with that, that shit is going. Every July, Clownfish TV, Arcade Outpost, Yellow Flash, all of those motherfuckers, they gonna have so much to say. And they gonna run around labeling everything some SJW shit, you know, how they often do. Now, sometimes on Facebook, I play devil's advocate, and I kind of, you know, chime in with the people who be saying shit, and it's mostly just to get them to say more stuff. Now, at the risk of being seen like I'm agreeing with them, you know, I don't say what I'm doing. But that is what I'm doing most of the time. I'm being, you know, devil's advocate. You know, and it's just having a little fun with some trolling. But those people, they take that shit entirely too serious. And it's ridiculous to me that these changes and things seem to just rule their lives, you know. Shit, I thought I was going to get through this video without doing a lot of coughing and clearing my throat. But the changing of the weather has been fucking with me, and I've had sinus problems. Like I said, a lot of sore throat off and on. I kind of felt like I had a cold a couple days ago. And some headaches. And then, like I said, I was stressed out about a lot of things. Problems with Amazon. I finally talked to them, but they still haven't reflected the changes in my account. See, I'm supposed to be getting a refund from them for 2 items I sent back. But as far as it goes on my account, it's still showing that the items haven't been received. But when I talk to them, and I talked to, you know, actual person, customer service, they told me that the items have been received. But I'm going to have to wait like 2 weeks to get my money back. Then I got to, like, hit my uncle up at the end of this month, because he's supposed to be helping me out with some money. my plan, my goal currently is to try to get that mic my friend was showing me. There's a lot of other things I wanted to get, but I'm gonna try to put them on hold because there was this compressed air device that I wanted to get because the computer gets dusty often, and you know there are areas of it where I can't really clean out the way I want to. Like I can use a Q-tip as somebody described, but that can only get out what's up front and that I can reach. I can't just stick that Q-tip all the way in there. But this compressed air thing, it'll blow it out, and it also doubles as a vacuum, so I could possibly suck some of the dust out if it's thick enough to be sucked up. So I've been wanting one of those for the longest. And the best thing about it doesn't need batteries, it doesn't need to be plugged up. I mean, it has batteries, but it doesn't need me to buy any separate batteries. It has rechargeable batteries. I just plug it up to the computer, charge it up that way, and use it once it's charged up. It's kind of the same with the hair clippers I bought. Love those because I kind of hate having to have something plugged up all the time, and it kind of restricts my movement, especially when I really be trying to get a certain area. So having this, and all I gotta do is charge it up. That's heaven sent. This is killing me. I was actually messaging somebody on Discord not too long ago, and they're probably like, he done went ghost again for 21 minutes now. But I had planned to do a video, and I meant to do it earlier. I should have did it before I wrote her back, but I'll just apologize again like I have been doing. But yeah, one of the things I really meant to touch on that I didn't mention at all is that yesterday I had been, I had been searching frantically for this old controller that I have. I forgot where the hell I put it at. But it's a what is it called? I'm looking for it. I don't know where I put it at. But shit. Okay. It's a Steel series. It's a gaming controller, USB controller that I bought years ago, back in 2013. I bought it on a whim. I meant to use it anyway because I had these games on my computer. I had been playing Pokemon, and it was annoying me playing with the with the keyboard. Most people like playing with the keyboard and the mouse. I don't like that. I use the mouse and the keyboard for other things, like when I'm doing stuff in Photoshop. But if I could, I would use something else. I'm still outside of drawing, I'm still trying to figure out how else to use my tablet in Photoshop. I gotta watch some more videos on YouTube. But anyway, I had to download this Xbox 360 emulator in order to use my controller that I had with the games I was playing. Because I bought Far Cry 1, Far Cry 2, and Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. I wanted to buy the regular Far Cry 3, but I didn't want to spend that much money, especially on PC games. So I'm still getting into the whole PC thing. I was already in the emulators, but I've been console for so long, it's still something I got to get used to. I downloaded a bunch of Super Nintendo and Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance games, and 2 PlayStation 2 games yesterday. And I still can't get the PlayStation, the PS2 emulator to work, though. I don't know what the issue is, because, I got all the things they said I needed for it. Because I needed the BIOS files. I got those, but then when I tried to use the games, they wouldn't work. I was trying to play Def Jam Vendetta, and the thing cut off. And not my computer, but the PS2 emulator. It cut off, and then I tried to do Grand Theft Auto 3, and it wouldn't work either. So I don't know what it is or why they're like that. But I'm gonna have to try to download them again or find another, emulator. Excuse me. So, but I know the Virtual Boy Advance emulator I have that plays most of the Game Boy games. That one works like a charm, but I knew how to work it because I had used it before. I haven't started up the Super Nintendo one yet because I really want to wait till I get the new controller. I decided to order a controller yesterday. One that's it's not an Xbox 360 controller, but it's made just like it. And it plugs straight into the computer. It's USB. So I got one of those, and it's gonna be here Wednesday. Who knows? It might come before Wednesday. I don't know, but I'm hoping it does. But even if it doesn't, I'll just be looking out for Amazon Wednesday. But anyway, to get to my main point, because I've been talking all over the place. I made, I downloaded the Xbox 360 emulator, the game controller emulator. Then I had to match each one of my buttons to, to the 360 controller buttons, so that way I could use it while I was playing the game, because I had hooked the controller up, but Far Cry 3, because I really wanted to play Blood Dragon. I've been wanting to play that for the longest. I hooked the controller up, and it didn't want to recognize it, and it kept keeping me on mouse and keyboard, so I had to keep exiting out of the game. Then, when I finally got the controller to work and got it to be recognized, I had to fuck with the settings on Far Cry 3 because the game was dark as fuck. Like, I thought, I was getting pissed off, and I was like, man, I want a refund because I didn't, damn, I'm getting up there. So let me go and wrap this up. So, yeah, I was pissed off because the game was so dark, I couldn't see shit. I had ran around in a circle. I finally figured out what to do and found out that I had to lighten the game up in order to see anything. Then I had to change the sensitivity, the look sensitivity, because the way it was moving around, it was fucking with me. Because, see, I'm really supposed to be wearing, prescription glasses. These are just glasses to block out, light, blue light, stuff like that, so that I don't strain my eyes too much. But my eyes were just going all over the place. It was making me dizzy, kind of made me feel a little, nauseous. And I was like, I had to, lower that look sensitivity all the way down, because where it was at, it had me moving around way too fast. I'm not used to the game moving like that, because, when I played on the game system, it seems things are kind of delayed a little bit, so, I fucked with that, and not messed it up, but, I fixed it up the way I wanted it and needed it to be, so that I could play the game, and, I had fun, though, for my first time actually playing, a PC game like that. Even though my controller is real old, because it was making squeaky noises, and I'm like, I gotta get rid of this thing. So that's another reason why I went and bought a new one, because that one is real old. Like I said, bought that back in 2013, and never really used it that much, except for when my PS3 controller started acting up, and I had to hook it up to that. But I couldn't use it with the PS3 the way I wanted to, because the middle button wouldn't take me back out into the main menu. And so I used to have to still turn the PS3 controller on just to get back to the main menu. A lot of work to do. But anyway, so, I'm liking the PC gaming right now. Still getting used to it. It's something that's going to take some time, learning curve. But I'm enjoying it. And hopefully once I really get around to playing these, the emulators, especially the Super Nintendo ones, I'll, get the hang of, gaming on the computer. It was real eventful, though. And it took up a lot of my time because I was playing so much that I lost track of time. But anyway, it's almost 30 minutes on this, so I've been talking for a long time. I get to talking and keep going, so this is kind of like part 2 of the video from yesterday, but until maybe later this week, or probably later on in the day, that's it for now. Peace.
What else I gotta do? It ain't too much for me to say, shit I gotta prove. So stay the fuck up out my way, you see they got you dude. And a few can torn away, I'm in a bad mood. Please don't fuck with me today, what else I gotta do? It ain't too much for me to say, shit I gotta prove. So stay the fuck up out my way, you see they got you dude. And a few can torn away, I'm in a bad mood. I bring, please don't fuck with me today. They say Prissy ain't on top of this shit, I beg to differ.